So there's no camera on this one because I don't want to lose the screen real estate to it. But so here's a quick proof that relates to what we've been talking about. Remember, the level of proof you need to do in this class is filling in the blanks. So when I review them in class, I'm going to go through the whole thing step by step. What you need to be thinking about is what cues you're going to have to remember what will go on each of these spots. And think about the theorems, postulates, definitions we talked about in order to get through this. Now, our given is that M is parallel to N. We're going to call this line over here line L, so it has a name. Remember, we put these arrowheads on the line as a way of showing on the picture that they're parallel. So here's my statements. Here are my justifications. Now we're going to run down the list. Now, what's the automatic first step? Restate the given. M is parallel to N. Given. Always start at the very beginning. Now, a common strategy when you're writing a proof from scratch is to move some of my knowns onto the picture to kind of help remember what's going on, or think about what I know about things as a result of it. Statements. Yes?
Excuse the interruption. Could you send Madison Latimer to attendance to check out?
Okay. Bye-bye. Okay, now. If I've got lines that are parallel, what do I know about angles 1 and 3? Try again. Why are they congruent? Right. 1 and 3 are corresponding angles, and therefore, as a result, they're going to be congruent. I have a theorem that says that 2 and 3 are supplementary, but that's what I'm trying to prove, so I can't use it. Because they're same-side interiors. But that's what I'm trying to prove, so I can't use the theorem I'm trying to prove. Yep. But I am going to write those. I'm going to write angle 1 is congruent to angle 3. Justification, corresponding angles, postulate. Now, the thing to remember, guys, when you do this yourself tonight, when we work on the homework, when you see it on the quiz, not Thursday's vocab quiz, but maybe next Monday's real quiz, you're going to have to fill in those reasons generally. I'll give you the statements, you give me each of the reasons. Looking at the picture, what do I know about, say, I need to get angle 2 into my proof. What do I know about angles 1 and 2? Shoot. They're a linear pair. All right. So angle 1 and angle 2 form a linear pair. That's from the definition of linear pair. Now, I'm actually going to write the word pair right out. Now I look at, someone said, oh, hey, they're supplementary. They are. Angle 1 and angle 2 are supplementary. And that's from the linear pair theorem. One thing I want to comment here, without commenting on the conversation that's happening over off on the side there, is that notice so far in my proof, I don't have a lot of new stuff yet. I have all these old definitions and theorems that we worked on in chapters 1 and 2 that you still have to have memorized. So even if you didn't do well in the last test, you need to go back and get these because they're not going away. Now, if two things are supplementary, what do I know about them? Say what? No, they don't equal 180. They add to 180. Go ahead. I'll hook her up later. That's from definition of supplementary. I did not leave myself enough spaces. I want to say that 2 and 3 are supplementary. Do I have enough room, enough statements up there that I can now put 2 and 3 in a statement together? Yeah, I can substitute it, right? I can take that 3, which is 1, and drop it in here. So let's drop her in there. Measure of angle 3 plus measure of angle 2 equals 180 by substitution. Yeah, I could add another step to say 1 and 3 are congruent, therefore measure of 1 equals 3, and then do the substitution. My last step now, angle 3 and angle 2 are supplementary. What rule lets me say that if two things are supplementary, if two things add to 180, then they are supplementary? Definition again. Now, someone asked if the same side interior angles theorem is the last step, and I may have said yes inadvertently. This proof is the proof of the same side interior angles theorem. That means that the justification, same side interior angles theorem, cannot appear in the proof. You can't use what you're trying to prove in the proof of it. Yeah. Well, the flow of it, so to speak. Actually, yeah, the order is really critical. Because if you think about a chained argument, I make the case that we use the basic politics. If we cut taxes, it'll increase business spending. Business spending leads to more jobs. If I change the order of that argument, does it make sense? Can I say we're going to have more people get hired, which will lower unemployment, which will cut taxes? Wait, no, the cut taxes leads to the companies have more money to spend. So the order matters a great deal. As far as flow goes, yeah, I can go back and take a quick run through this one more time and hit some of the highlights. Bring out the felt tip. Start at the beginning. We got our given. That's where we always start. From this, parallel lines mean corresponding angles are congruent. That's one of the theorems we just talked about. Now, this step kind of comes out of the blue. We needed to get this into the conversation. So we said, well, I don't know where to go, so let's look at the proof. And we looked and saw that 1 and 2 are a linear pair. Okay. Now, what does linear pair tell us? Oh, we have a theorem that says linear pairs are supplementary. Things that are supplementary add to 180. So this block is all one nice, neat flow. You still have to write it. No, they're two different statements. One statement says they're supplementary. One statement says they add to 180. Now, we all know that's kind of the same thing. And it's a definition, so it goes both ways. But you still have to write it. Kinda, maybe. It depends on how you look at it. I look at it as, if it's part of my proof, I need to put it on the page so everyone can see that it's part of the proof. And then this step, right here, that's a combination of the corresponding angles postulate and the previous step. I substituted. So I put them together, and if they add to 180, then they're supplementary. Now remember, where you guys are at, aside from maybe a couple of blanks on the statements column, mostly your job is to read through the statements in order and tell me what theorem or postulate justifies that statement. What rule connects those two ideas? That's generally where we test you at when it comes to these proofs. You're not going to have to write one of these on your own. For good or for bad, there's where it is.